Welcome to Anuga F&B Talks. In this series, we are inviting global players and innovators from the industry to share their stories and showcase their innovation in anticipation of Anuga 2025, the biggest trade show for the food and beverage industry worldwide. Thanks for tuning in.
I just had the pleasure to chat with Jan Phillip Hartmann from Anuga about this year's event, the big happening in October in Cologne, and the way we're looking forward to it and all the novelties and innovations that lie ahead of us. It was a great pleasure having you and getting this early insight about what's ahead. Thanks for being here and looking forward to it.
Thank you for having me as your guest. It was a real pleasure giving me the chance to speak about our project in Cologne. And I'm looking forward to see you there and the guys from Kitchen Town, and also to see you in October in Cologne.
JP, welcome to our studio here for our Anuga F&B Talks. Great to have you. It's really an honor. You are the director for the Anuga Fair this year in October. And you are also one of the main organizers of the whole thing. And how far does that, because Anuga is there for quite some time, how does the all preparation and planning and how far is that different from the past in the age of digital?
Well, thanks for having me, first of all. There is, obviously a big difference driven by technological developments and innovations. And when you look back to 1919, we started with 200 only German.
So that was the first Anuga?
That was the
Back
first
then
Anuga.
It was in Stuttgart still, right?
In Stuttgart, right.
Okay.
And until 1924, it was a moving show, changing from a location from year to year. And in 1924, it was the first time we had Anuga in Cologne.
Okay.
And since then, it remained in Cologne. We started, as I said, with 200 exhibitors. By now, we expect this year, 2025, around 8,000 exhibitors. So you can see, like, from the sheer size of the show, it changed significantly. And well, the technology helped us to make it as easy as possible for us, but also for the exhibitors and visitors in the exhibitor and visitor journey, right? We offer different technological apps, which makes it as easy as possible for exhibitors to participate and to plan their participation. Well, and I think this and the team we are working on the show makes a big difference in organizing the whole thing.
Yeah, Anuga is the biggest business event in the food and beverage industry worldwide. Besides this fact, so what does on a qualitative level, so what role does Anuga play for all the exhibitors, all the exhibitors? Can you just summarize that a bit?
Of course. Well, we offer the biggest platform for the food and beverage industry, right? We bring together the most exhibitors in the world, around 8,000, as I said, and the most visitors, around 140,000, to Cologne, to meet, to discuss, to fill their shelves from visitor perspective, but also to provide or to offer their products to the visitors. And all this makes it the biggest food and beverage show in the world. I would call it the center of the food and beverage industry every 2 years in Cologne.
Over the years, obviously, the food industry has changed really tremendously. In this year edition of Anuga, so what are the main drivers that also are on the minds of the exhibitors? Obviously, there's high volatility in the raw material prices right now. Is that really a topic at the exhibition?
Well, I would say so. It's a topic for the whole industry. So it's a topic for the exhibitors as well. So volatile material prices is one of the drivers, definitely, but one of the most important drivers, I would say, is consumers' expectations. The consumer expects by now to eat healthy, to have a sustainable product, and at the meantime want to know exactly about the ingredients, maybe about where the product is coming from, so on and so on. So the consumer has high expectations on a product, And to me, I think you can only meet this by innovation. And innovation is one of the drivers of Anuga. We are not only the biggest trade show for food and beverages, we are also the hub of innovations. We have that expectation to ourselves, but also the exhibitors and especially the visitors have that expectation about Anuga. You know, they do not only come for the products they know. Mostly they're interested in what kind
Exploring
of
stuff.
Exactly, exploring, finding out what is the newest trend, what is the newest product of an exhibitor or maybe of the whole industry, and we are trying to cater to this expectation.
So what you say is like consumers, they want everything all at once in some sort, and also the exhibitors, the industry is trying to respond to that, and I can imagine that also the diversity and versatility of solutions that you can actually explore at Anuga is incredibly huge. And given I would be first time visitor at Anuga, how can I find myself through all the solutions? How can I navigate my visit?
Well, I'm always trying to explain that preparation is key, right? We have 19 halls, over 300,000 square meters, gross square meters in our venue. And I always recommend not to just come there and see what is going on. Use the tools we give our visitors at hand to make the most of your time at Anuga. For example, the online exhibitor search is really important for your preparations. You can just check for a certain product you're looking for, maybe a certain exhibitor you're looking for, and you can also look for innovations in our innovation database or new product database, where we have over 2,000 innovations, new products which have been launched since the last Anuga, since Anuga 2023. And also, of course, our Anuga app helps you to find out exactly what you are looking for, which exhibitor to meet, and then you come to Anuga well prepared. So preparation is key, and you can use the tools we give you as a visitor to prepare yourself.
Okay, is one day enough to be there, or would you rather recommend 2 or 3 days?
I would at least recommend 2 days. As I said, we have 8,000 exhibitors, or we expect 8,000 exhibitors. We have around 160 pavilions with group participants from, well, all over the world, I would call it now. So definitely make the most out of 2 days. Best would be 3 days to really explore everything. And the great thing about Anuga is we have 10 trade shows under one roof. So we give you the chance to deep dive into every aspect of the industry. And you can just snorkel around, let's say, for one day, or you do really a deep dive into the industry and visit all the halls. That's what I recommend, what I would do.
Great. So obviously, Kitchen Town is all about innovation, and one indicator I would say about how much innovation is going on in an industry is really the activity or the existence of startup scene within that industry. And you could argue that, especially in the post-war area, a lot of the companies and brands that we know until today were startups, because that was really a new day, like new age has been started at that sense at that time. In the recent past, there were a lot more startups, and my question is, how do you, as such an established trade fair, how do you deal with that, and how do you actually support these young companies to also make them visible in the Anuga overall concept?
Well, we offer certain startup areas. We have changed the way of setting this up a little between 2023 and 2025. And we have included the Boulevard of Innovations. We have a huge boulevard leading from the south entrance of our venue to the north entrance of the venue. And the biggest part of that, the North Boulevard, will be the Boulevard of Innovations, where you can find over or around 90 startups, international startups. That's very important. It's not only German startups or Polish, Swedish, or Austrian startups. We have really startups from everywhere in the world. And well, we give these startups a chance to meet the global decision makers, right? The global industry. We had, in 2023, at least 140,000 exhibitors. We expect the same number in 2025, and we have around 20% of the visitors coming from Germany. So if you do the calculation, more than 100,000 or even 110,000 visitors are coming from international soils, right? So it gives you the chance as a startup to meet the whole industry, the global industry, and more than only buyers. We give you the chance, even we attract investors to come to Anuga because they want to know what is new, who might be the next company to invest in, and so on and so on. And that maybe gives you another chance for business opportunities. And also you can look, what is the competitor doing, right? What is trend in Asia? What are the Asian startups bringing onto the table, let's call it, right? And well, by offering the startup area within this boulevard of innovations, that's the part how we support the startups at Anuga. That's just from a, let's say, well, technical point of view, maybe. But we offer startups who are mostly cost sensitive, a really easy way to participate as well, right? We call it ready to key stand space, right? You do not have to take care about the location. You don't have to take care about the whole setup of the stand construction. It's all in one package. And it's, well, we subsidize it a little from Köln, so it's a little cheaper than the participation you have to book when you are not a startup anymore. Let's call it older than 5 years.
Okay, so you see yourself also as a platform for these young companies.
100%.
And I also understand that as a really open invitation for them to come, either exhibitor or visitor. That
100%. If I could add that here. Startups are crucial to us, as you said before, right? All the companies which are big and a brand at the moment in the industry or in the market, they have been startups once, right? So for us, it's not only, we do not only want to support them from heart, let's say, we also have an economical reason for that. We want to have the next big thing, let's call it like this, at Anuga.
Which also on the long term helps Anuga sustain as a concept. All right.
100%,
cool.
yes.
JP, you're also introducing this year for the first time ever Anuga Alternatives, which is a concept within the overall concept of Anuga. Can you just briefly explain what it is all about?
Well, we realized in 2023 that we had a lot of companies who not only producing like the conventional portfolio, conventional products, they're also focusing by now on alternative protein products, right? We had over 1,500 exhibitors stating that they also only produce alternative protein products. And if you look at the development of that particular sector, we believe that it will be a strong force, a strong market, driving the whole food and beverage industry in the future, maybe in the next 10, 20 years, or continuing to do it because they are already doing it right now. And as I said or mentioned before earlier, we want to build the whole industry within our halls, right? We want to give an overview about the whole food and beverage industry in our venue. And you cannot do that if you leave that really important and more and more, getting more and more important part out of the show. So that is why we have included it for.
So you give it really a dedicated place and also some spotlight in that sense.
Exactly. We have included them in Hall 1. They have an own, it's an own trade show within the Anuga roof or inside of the Anuga roof. We also have a dedicated stage at Anuga Alternatives where the content is only focusing on alternative protein topics, let's call it, right? The trends, what is coming next, maybe what has been done until now, what are the challenges of the industry now and in the future. And this is something we do not do in all the other segments. We have another stage for Anuga Organic segment, but a dedicated stage only for that segment is pretty special because we want to give everybody the chance to present the topics, the challenges about that industry.
Cool. Yeah, that's something that we are also personally really looking forward to be there and discuss. So what would you say are the top 3 reasons to be at Anuga this year?
The number of exhibitors and visitors make it the biggest Anuga of all time. It's the biggest, and I really want to let that sink in, right? It's the biggest food and beverage event in the history of our planet, right? Wow. Alone this, for me, would be a reason to attend, right?
Sounds awesome.
That's the first thing. The second thing is we have 10 trade shows under one roof. And it's not about the number of 10 trade shows. It's what possibility this gives you to really deep dive into the industry. It's just amazing the vibe that is going on there, right? And you switch from one hall, let's say from one of the Anuga meat halls, into the Anuga drink hall, into the fine food halls, and so on and so on. You really get a complete overview, and you will see a lot of new products, right? These innovations we have talked about, they are not only coming from startups. All the exhibitors, most of the exhibitors bring new products too. So that would be the second reason. And the third reason is, well, we have included a completely new segment, which no one has ever done in history of Anuga. So see what is going on there, or seeing what is going on there is also really, really, really nice to have. And that plays into, again, the innovations, right? We are presenting the most innovations of all the trade shows in the world.
You touched it briefly. So what are the new things? What are your innovations for Anuga compared to the last edition?
We have done multiple things, actually. Compared to 2023, we have included the Boulevard of Innovation, where we really are focusing only on innovation. And you will, as a visitor, not be able to get around it. You will see around 90 startups there. You will have the Trend Zone there, and you have the Anuga Taste Innovation Show there, which is a dedicated show only to the top 100 innovations which have been launched since last Anuga, since 2023. We have over 2,000 data or products in our database. But we are looking for the top 100 to present them on the Boulevard of Innovation, and we are showing the top 10 out of these top 100 innovations, and I would say then of the whole food and beverage industry, right? That's one. The second is we have changed the hall setting, the hall plan a little. We wanted to make it more efficient. We have realized that, for example, 2 meat halls are in the north part of our venue, and one is in the south part of our venue. We wanted to bring that together to make it more efficient and to start to create a circulation for the visitors to have a better overview. What is new to the show? Where are your exhibitors and all that? And third, as I mentioned already, the new segment, the Anuga Alternative protein segment. That is something I personally am looking forward to nearly the most, because it's just such a really power-driven sector with people who are really not only seeing an economical benefit by that, or maybe some revenue streams. They really want to change the food and beverage industry, and we want to give them the platform to present themselves and what ideas they have to change the food and beverage industry and tackle challenges we all have in the future.
And as you mentioned, the Anuga Alternative, but also the Boulevard of Innovation, are these two also the main levers that you have for visitors to experience innovation? Because I can imagine if you have such a diversity of products and exhibitors, sometimes can be difficult also to identify the right products that you're looking for.
That is 100% true. It's not only about the startups. It's not only about the alternative proteins, or it's not only the startup and alternative protein exhibitors. Every exhibitor might have an innovation. We will know as soon as they register in our new product database. Until then, I know about some launches in the past and launches that are coming, but I cannot mention them all, right? So it's crucial that you understand, or that the visitor understand, it's not only what we are putting or bringing to the table in terms of innovation. It's always or also very, very important to check what other exhibitors, which may be participating at Anuga since 100 years, right? what kind of innovations they have, because everybody is innovation driven at the moment and has to bring new products to the market. So it's not only what we are delivering or bringing to the table, it's also what the exhibitors are adding to what we added before.
Another topic that I just wanted to touch upon briefly is the partner country of this year's Anuga, which is Korea. You recently announced that. How was the choice made that Korea will be the partner country?
Well, we realized that Korea is one of the strongest food exporters of the world, right? They are the 6th biggest food exporter in the world, and they are also kind of trendy, you know, K-food, K-pop, and so on and so on. So we reached out to our representatives in Seoul from Messe. We have representatives in Seoul, and asked them if they could connect us with somebody of the ministry or some
So
association.
it was really like a conscious choice that you were reaching out and did some research in terms of where the magic is happening right now.
Yes, in some way, yes. But I mean, it was not the only choice, to be honest. You cannot rely on only one potential partner. We have reached out to other countries as well, but Korea was one of the countries that reacted quickest and most motivated, I have to say, right? It was a partnership right away. You know, we both saw the benefits from that. And I mean, Korea is a country, or the food and beverage industry in Korea is blending, let's say, traditional dishes, traditional products with modern or trendy products, right? It's a really nice mixture of tradition and the modern way of creating food. Also, they are really a strong force in the development of food and beverage technologies, looking for sustainability, recycling, upcycling, and so on and so on. And that was simply the perfect match. It was a no-brainer when we heard they might be interested. It was a no-brainer for us that we really want to be partner with them.
Okay, what does that mean more concrete in terms of presence there? Like, do they have is it a whole hall for Korean companies?
Well, it's a part of a hall, right? Okay. They have a really good location in a hall very close to the middle boulevard, one of like the let's say the highway of Anuga. We offered them a lot of exposure, a lot of ways how to present themselves, or also their exhibitors and their products, of course. Well, and we are just happy that they go along with our plans, right? We want to do a lot of content together with them in our Anuga blog, in webinars, and so on and so on. And on site, obviously, as they are our partner country, they have the official role of being one of the hosts, right? They will open Anuga during the ceremony together with whoever will be present from the German government. We cannot tell this now because simply we are in the midst of planning. But they have a big and official role, and they're happy about it, and we are really, really happy about it.
Okay. Yeah, nice to meet these people and all the exhibitors from Korea in October. Fantastic. Maybe one question that's also really interesting for myself, and also very likely also to startups, is like, because they're always strong in networking and meeting people, make the real good connections, like what are the main happenings or parties or unofficial things that one would experience in Anuga?
This is tough to say at the moment, to be honest, because we are in the midst of planning, right? We will have a really power-driven content part. As I mentioned before, we have 3 stages: the trend zone, in which the most recent trends from 25, but maybe also an outlook to 2026. Will be presented. We will talk about the challenges of the industry, but also what is the outlook. We want to bring some motivation, some maybe even pride into the industry. Sometimes I feel we are all a bit more looking backwards, maybe also making ourselves smaller than we actually are, right? And I'm not talking about Anuga, I'm talking about the industry. We should be a bit more proud of what we are delivering. also what the industry is offering to the world and the future of the world, right? What solutions the food and beverage industry is presenting to tackle worldwide global problems, right? And all this will be part of the stage program, let's call it, or content program. There will be a lot of parties going on inside the halls. We have exhibitor parties every day, multiple exhibitor parties every day. And also the Anuga feeling or the Anuga spirit goes way beyond our venue, right? If you welcome so many professionals, we are expecting around 300,000, maybe 320,000, not only visitors, but including the exhibitors and so on, to Cologne, right? And you will have parties everywhere in the city, exhibitor parties. You will feel it in the hotels, in the restaurant. There's a great vibe going on, in the Anuga vibe, the Anuga spirit going on in Cologne and also beyond. And I would recommend to look out for what we are communicating on the website and on our social media, because there's a lot to come for these 5 days in Cologne.
Okay, that sounds really promising. We will make sure to also spread the news in terms of all these happenings. Sounds really, really good. We're also really looking forward and really proud also as Kitchen Town supporting you on that path, and also spreading the news and the word about what's going on in October. Thank you so much, JP, for this talk. Looking forward.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your support. Also here, it's a great partnership. I really have to mention that you support us quite strongly, and it's just a lot of fun working with you guys. And also you bring a new spirit into Anuga. We really have to say that. I really want to say it also. So thank you for having me, and see you in October.